All right, I'll take your questions, please.
Mike, with no all-season program like you've had it in the past and no preseason games, have you found the daily focus in camp has been a little bit more intense than it normally would be since it's shortened and you don't have those other elements?
I think that's an excellent point. We were doing, we had a staff meeting yesterday, and just going back through the fundamental, drills and just, clearly understanding that today and Saturday are our last, training camp type practices. So, and just really wanted to make sure we emphasize that, the tackling circuit these last 2 days. And so, we're just really staying on top of South scouting everything we do, everything we've done, and just and measure it against where we feel we are as a football team. So, yeah, I think particularly I'd say about the last 10 days have seemed like they've gone very, very quickly. And and obviously this weekend is always a challenging weekend when you have to make your roster selections and move into a Monday in season schedule. So we're just trying to maximize the time and just keep pushing the envelope of if we need to add, we actually added I think 6 minutes to the practice today for team fundamentals.
Mike, a couple of guys have talked about it. What's a mock game that you guys have? Is that just a walkthrough, or what is the part of that?
It would be classified as a walkthrough, jog through type tempo, but it's we're trying to mock game situations. It's been competitive throughout training camp, so you're hitting every potential down and distance throughout all field positions, creating all the different situations in the game that may occur over the course of the year. I want to say probably 20% of it is clock management situations, special team situations, fourth down situations. So I think it's important to spend as much time on that as possible because you want, in the heat of the battle, you want to be in a reactionary mode, in an anticipation mode. You don't want to be sitting there trying to calculate all the time what the next move is. And frankly, a big part of it is patterns of substitution, just to get into different personnel groups on the field, make sure you're reacting to the different tempos that occur during the course of a game. So it's a mock game. We try to make it as game-like as possible.
Mike, you mentioned yesterday not wanting to step on Kellen's toes, and then Dak talked to us about how at the beginning of training camp you had a conversation with him of the importance that Kellen really had Dak freedom. When did you have that conversation with Dak, and why was it important for you to talk to Dak about that specifically?
Okay, I'm sorry, you're going in and out there, Scott. Zach, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes. You mentioned yesterday that it was important to you not to step on Kellen's toes, and then Dak told us that you had a conversation with him at the beginning of training camp about that same principle. Why was it important for you to have that conversation with Dak directly?
Did you say Dak and Kellen had a conversation, or you?
Dak said that you and he had a conversation about quickly and you're getting Kellen for the offense.
Well, frankly, when I came here on my interview, Kellen Moore was part of my initial thought process to put the staff in place. So this was a day one decision. From a big picture of putting together, not only the coaching staff but the offensive staff. So, as far as a conversation with Dak and I just, I think it was more about, hey, this is how we view, moving forward together. Obviously at the time that we had a chance to, frankly, sit down and talk in person was after, after the spring and so forth. But so day one, Kellen was a big part of the equation as the offensive coordinator, and frankly, it was based on the decision of the development of Dak, where I felt that he was and what he's accomplished over the past 4 years, and it's at the end of the day, you know, a big part of your success as a football team is the production of the quarterback. So it's about the quarterback, you know, being as comfortable and confident in everything we do. And you know, Kellen and Dak have established that. They have an excellent foundation, and I think we're doing a very good job building off of what was accomplished last year. And we've applied it to the new direction of this offense, and you know, all indications. I think Dak is very, very comfortable and very confident, not only just with Kellen, but with Doug and our whole offensive staff. And you know, I think you can see it in the execution level and the consistency, particularly on the things we do at the line of scrimmage, the different things we're doing in and out of the huddle. So I feel very good about where we are today and the decision that was made, obviously with Kellen Moore as the coordinator.
How big are those mock games for your younger players in terms of making sure they're retaining information and those kinds of things?
I'm sorry. The last part of your question.
How big are the mock games for the younger players to make sure that they're retaining the information that you guys are presenting today?
Did you hear that?
Younger players.
Okay. What about
How important is the mock game for younger players?
how important the younger players, the mock game is to them? I mean, obviously very important. I think it's, you know, it's as game-like as we possibly can make it. It's, you know, having them, you go back to the beginning of training camp where you're trying to integrate the younger players with the older players, you know, getting the different substitution patterns. And frankly, they're clean reps as far as the offensive scheme and the defensive scheme. So yeah, I mean, I look at the mock game as quality reps of both what we're trying to get done conceptually and situationally in the mechanics of, you know, playing games on Sunday.
Mike, a year ago at this time, what were you doing and how difficult, or how did you deal with not getting ready for an opener for the first time in a long time? Did you kind of disassociate yourself from the game, or were you still trying to watch everything at this point a year ago?
Where I was at this point in the year ago, I wasn't really thinking about football. You know, I was enjoying the summer weather in Wisconsin because, you know, you have a shorter period of time to enjoy this type of weather. So yeah, I was probably more disconnected at this time last year. I mean, Labor Day was a fun weekend with the family. And just talking with Rich this morning, I didn't realize Labor Day was coming up. So I think that's kind of in tune when we know football is right around the corner.
Mike, Dak said yesterday he supports individual expression during the anthem. Other players have said the same thing. Jerry has been pretty clear that he'd like it to be a team-wide thing like it was in Arizona 3 years ago when they knelt before the anthem but then stood during the anthem. Where do you see yourself in those conversations? What kind of role do you have, or is that something you would like to leave between Jerry and the players?
Well, I think it's what's best for all of us, and I think the individuality of expressing yourself is part of that decision. So you know, I saw Dak's comments this morning, and I think he expressed it very well. I thought he hit the nail right on the head, and that's the way we'll move forward.
Are there plans to have a meeting with the team and Jerry about what the players will do?
I would say those conversations are ongoing. There have been conversations, you know, and frankly, what comes out of those conversations is probably should point more to the people that are in them. I mean, it's not frankly something I'm specifically going to talk on, but you know, this has been an ongoing conversation since we got together there back in, I think it was April or May. Is that it?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.